So let's see if we can get things rolling here. Anyways, that's to give you guys this idea of what Android, what they're working on. They're coming out with these things. Every year there's a new advancement, and what's happening is Google and Apple are both dominating these categories that are going into these different things that need some type of system to control.
So Microsoft's...
Where's Microsoft in any of this? I have no idea.
Yeah.
They did open a store in the mall, but when you go in there, they're still very focused on selling their tablets and computers and operating system and desktop operating system, and I haven't seen past. Now they have a new CEO that's supposed to be looking at some of these things, but as far as Google and Apple have so much headway in this, they're going to have a hard time competing in this realm, and they're still very business focused too. So whereas Apple and Google are very consumer focused. So, you know, businesses, Microsoft still dominates in the business world, but as far as the consumer world, both Google and Apple are just killing it. So that's where we are with that. So last time we talked about these items, your phone specifications, your physical buttons, where they are, your volume and power, how do you power your phone off, where are your volume buttons, things like that. And we kind of got into the settings menu and looked at Wi-Fi, how to connect to Wi-Fi, how to connect to a Wi-Fi, like let's say if you have it at your house. We looked at some network settings. We found where Android version was, somewhere deep in your phone. You may not be able to navigate there, but we can try to go there again. What the build number or serial number or whatever we could find was. And other settings like display options, like to keep it from going to sleep so quickly, changing those things. We looked at sounds and things like that. Do you guys have any questions about that? Do you want to revisit any of that for the first 5 or 10 minutes? We can look and try to go there again. How many of you does it say on your phone, if you just wake it up, do you have the Wi-Fi signal on the very top? It looks like this. I'm wondering if it connected here automatically, because we connected there manually last time. Did it just pick back up and we're connected in here? So at the very top, we should have a little Wi-Fi signal. It looks like some bars on it. And
Ace Wireless?
yeah, that's us connected. So automatically connected. We walked in the room.
So mine says on.
Yeah. So we walked in the room and you connected. That little symbol that you guys see on the top of your phone is the universal symbol for Wi-Fi. So anytime you see that symbol, that means you're connected to Wi-Fi. So anywhere, if you're at home, if you're at a public place, if you're at a friend's house, family, that's what that symbol means. It means you're using Wi-Fi instead of your data plan. And I'll show you. I'll put my screen up here and maybe we can look at it.
It's a very weak signal.
Is it? Okay.
1 bar.
Okay, that's not very good, is it? It could be the Wi-Fi in here.
I'm good.
You have a nice phone. How many do you have?
4.
4 bars? Isn't that bizarre?
Right there, right?
Let me see your phone for a second. I'm just going to walk.
That's got a lot of
Oh,
bars,
you've
right?
got...
Same thing, yeah.
Okay, so the Wi-Fi signal, you've got full range. You got 4 bars. See that 1 bar? That's your voice. So I'm going to draw that up here.
Oh.
The bars that look like, look like this. And it'll shade 1 bar. That means you have a weak signal. Those are cellular bars for voice. And for data, too, if you didn't have Wi-Fi. Those are your signal bars that when you're out and about. So you might have a weak signal in here because maybe the walls are thick or there's just not very good coverage in here. And that's been the case with mine, too. When I'm in these rooms, it'll be a weak signal.
What is the one that's right next to that?
So if you have that symbol, too, that looks like a B, looks like this, that's Bluetooth, and that means your Bluetooth is turned on. And that was the thing we looked at last week that does things like if you have a car that has it, you can talk through it, or speakers, or things like that. But I'll show my screen up here, and we'll go through the different symbols and stuff. But these are a good indicator before we get started about what those things are. So we have Wi-Fi and your cellular and Bluetooth. All signal and networking stuff should be kind of together in the top right there, and that's all your little meters of everything that's working. That's okay. That's okay. It's whistling at you. Yeah.
I set this up for at least the light to stay on for a minute. Now it's
Well, if you're on the lock screen, I don't think it will. You have to be unlocked and into something.
it's kicking out at about
So you have to be unlocked. Now let's see when the minute starts. So from the lock screen, it thinks you don't want anything.
This is the lock screen.
Yeah, that's the lock screen.
So if I go,
So you got to be in it and
I see. Okay.
looking at something probably. But we'll revisit that if you want. If you want to go into settings.
Now that
Okay.
I'm on this side,
Yeah, let's see how long it takes you before it goes to sleep from that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to try to show my screen up here. What is it? Mode is in. Let's see if it works. Last time I had to plug in. I bet I have to do the same thing this time. Yeah, sometimes the Wi-Fi signal here is a little weak. They kind of give us the last bit of internet, so we don't use it all, but we'll try to.
Is the whole school on the same Wi-Fi?
It is not, and I'm not sure exactly how the network is set up here. I mean, in Sarasota County in general. But here at the school, these few rooms have its own network, Ace Wireless. So it's just us on this particular part of the network. Now, they could say, hey, you guys are only allowed a little bit of internet, and they could do that. But what was happening is we get a lot of filtered sites that we were trying to visit. Like, we were trying to go to YouTube and shit. So, well, that's blocked at school. And so everything like that was getting blocked for us. So that's why we had our own own network in here. Okay. Oops. Let's see if it lets me connect. Ooh, it doesn't like that number.
I know.
Oh, I hate these.
Yeah.
These captchas.
That last one's 6.
Oh, yeah. Am I not entering it right?
359 610.
359610. Yay. Ugh. Yeah, sometimes the part of the captcha looks like a different number. Okay, so I need this number too. This is kind of just a messed up thing that lets me show it wirelessly, but let's see if it'll work. Okay. Ooh, it kicked me out. I don't like this. Come on. Okay, let's see if this does it. Yay. Kind of, yay. Okay. Okay, very good, very good. Can you guys see this? It's kind of showing on my phone here. Okay. So, over here to the left, we're not going to worry about what all these icons mean, because this will get complicated here real quick. Yet. We'll get to this point. These are your notifications, but we're going to get to that. Over here to the right is where it shows you, and sometimes it'll disappear because it's telling you something, it'll go away and come back. This will tell you usually your Wi-Fi battery level, cellular speed, if Bluetooth is turned on, and maybe like your sound, if it's on mute, it might have a speaker with a line through it or something if it's turned all the way down. But these are your icons. So what we're going to show you, I'm going to show you a quick way. Remember how we went to settings last time? I'm going to show you a very quick way to get to settings. So with your finger, from the very top, go ahead and swipe and drag this down. So we're going to go ahead and swipe and drag it down, and you should get like a quick menu. You guys see that?
Yes.
A little quick menu. What's in that quick menu? Those are some quick settings. So at the top we have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. Notice how like they're green or faded or things like that. If they're green, it means they're on, or if they're lit up, it means they're on. And if they're not, it's not turned on. Like I have Bluetooth off, so it's not lit up. See? And this is a quick way to turn those things on and off. They're little buttons. So you could say, man, I want to go ahead and turn off my Wi-Fi. You can just swipe down and do it. You don't have to go into settings and do all that.
You just tap it to turn it off?
Tap it to turn it off.
So if I want to get rid of GPS, I just tap it?
Yeah, you tap it and it turns off the little GPS in your phone. Some people like to do that or whatever, but those are quick settings that you can jump to real fast that are really frequently used.
So if you swipe, something's supposed to happen. It didn't happen.
So if you're at the very top, can you swipe down?
Swipe like this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Here you go, and it has some quick settings here. This button here. Here's all your quick settings that you can. If you tap that little here, it shows you all these quick settings here. So Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, airplane mode, all of those things that you might use very frequently. Mine has the same thing up here, airplane mode. If I want to put it in airplane mode, that's a quick way to do it. You don't have to go to settings and dig and do all that. You can do it right from the screen.
I didn't know my tablet had that.
Oh yeah, tablets have something very similar.
Is that exactly the same thing?
Yep, it's actually the same, probably the same operating system, just different build number.
I have one that says Smart Stay. What is that?
Smart Stay.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Power saving. That's how many of you did it have something called power saving? That's kind of something new where if you decide to turn that on, your phone will supersede any rules that you have, like extend my screen time, do things like that. It's gonna maximize your power the best way it can. So it'll make decisions for you, like not get as bright, do things like that. That's what power saving does. It's trying to extend your battery life. If you turn that off, that means you have granular control over things like, oh, I want my brightness always bright, or I want my phone to not go to sleep after 10 seconds, and things like that. But that's kind of handy dandy. I don't know what Smart Stay is. I'll have to look and see. It might have something to do with location, based on where you are. Airplane mode, hands-free, here's Bluetooth, sound, location, all those things. Wi-Fi, everything lit up means it's on. So just so you're aware, you
What
would
is
have a
it?
little brightness there. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I can go, I can go.
There you go. And you can actually arrange your screen and see what you use.
What is cast screen?
That's like those Chromecast things. You can show your phone on the TV.
Oh.
So you buy this little adapter. It's like $10, I think. And you plug it into the TV and you can actually show your phone on the TV. So you can, let's say you go over to a friend's or family's house and you show a slideshow with pictures on your phone.
Wirelessly?
Wirelessly.
Through the Bluetooth.
It's actually through Wi-Fi.
Oh.
So you have this little Chromecast thing that plugs in your TV, kind of like the Roku, like we were talking about TV stuff, and you plug it into your TV, and then you can show anything on your phone. Do that, and they're doing this now in like.
They put them in a lot of TVs right now.
Yeah,
We got one of them.
Yeah, and I have one of mine too, and it's just it has a little broadcaster. We'll talk about that when we talk about showing content and stuff. But yeah, that's what that is. But these are just kind of your quick basic settings you can kind of get to real fast. And if you want to get into more settings, you might even have a settings button, and it opens up the rest. You might also notice those notifications, and I'm going to show you that in a second. But you might have something that looks like this, where it's a series of, hey, I installed an update, did this and did that and did that. We'll look at that in a minute. That can get complicated.
I had an X in mine up here, I get that, what are all these things? Can I go on television, or?
That's a, no,
Well, it was, how do I go back to where I was?
Hit the back button,
Okay.
pull back here. Oh, that was CNN. So maybe on CNN it was like, hey, can I watch it on my phone?
Okay.
Which you can.
Or,
And so there's a thing like that. But notice like there's an update for mine, and it comes right into my notifications right here that says, hey, you have an update. And remember last time we were talking about where to look for updates for your phone? Your phone will notify you when there's an update too, and that's what these notifications and stuff are. But we'll look at these in a second. We're going to first navigate around the phone, and then we'll come back and talk about what all this stuff is. So when you unlock your screen, you come to an area called your home screen, right? The lock screen is the screen with the lock. I unlock it, and I'm in my home screen. Here I am. This can be completely customized to what you use the most, and all of these things can be moved around that you see. And the way to move something or to get rid of something, there's a couple ways to do this. One is anything you see on this screen, you can remove. Right? So there's something I'm not using here. Like let's say I'm not using my radar right now. All I do is touch it with my finger and hold it down for a second. And then now I have a remove option at the very top, and I just keep holding down and drag over until it turns red, and I let go. And I've removed it. I've removed it from the screen. I dragged it up. Yours is probably something very similar. You touch and hold an app for a few seconds, and it might turn into a trash can or an X or something like that to move it around. And you might not have anything. That's good. See, like these right here. Like, let's say I wanted to move calendar. You just tap and hold it, and see how this becomes now when you remove trash can. If you wanted to remove it, it does not delete it from your phone. You are just removing a shortcut to that application. So it does not remove it from your phone. It just removes it from the screen. There's a difference between remove. Remove does not equal uninstall. And that's kind of confusing if you come from like a Windows world, because add remove programs is where you go to remove something out of Windows. And you're saying, I want to add or remove a program. But then on the Android world, removing something doesn't mean you're uninstalling it. It just means you're removing it from view. So that's what that means. So if I tap and hold, if I want to customize this, and let's say I just want to remove something, I want to remove Gas Buddy. I don't need Gas Buddy right now. I'm going to tap and hold it, drag it over remove, and let go, and now it's off my screen. I don't have to see it. So you have two sections on your phone. You have the home screen, and the bottom area is called a dock. Your dock doesn't change. From page to page to page, those 4 or 5 items remain the same. So anything you put down there can stay down there and be there all the time.
how do you get it down there?
Let's first you got to have room, right? So you need a place for it. So for instance, I removed one, and I have a little missing place for one. So let's say I wanted to put my calendar there. I just tap and hold it, and drag it down there, and now I have it. And now whatever page I'm on, it's there. This takes some practice to touch and hold and move things around, but this is how you navigate on these devices. You touch and hold a lot, and you move with your finger a lot, and swipe and do all these things. It's all gesture based. So if you want to remove something from this dock area, you don't have to remove it from the whole screen. Let's say I want to get rid of these headphones. This is Google Music. I just want to put it up here. And I just let go, and now I have a little place now where I can put something else. And these are your most frequently used things. You put them at the bottom, like maybe the phone or text messaging or something like that. Yes?
How do you make room?
You take anything that you have down there
Something out?
and drag it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And just touch and hold it. And but you might, you might have room. Maybe you're having some hard decisions like, man, I really want these there. That's fine. Your most frequently used things should be on the bottom, and then your home screen should be even more things you use. Like if you,
That's your home screen then?
yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
So the whole thing is your home screen, but this area is specifically called your dock.
You can stack in the dock.
You can. So you could get fancy. So for instance, on the dock here, I have a section with multiple things in it. So if I tap that, it shows me a list of all the Google products that were in there. And you can pile one on top of the other if you wanted to do that. It makes like a folder of shortcuts. And you drag one on top of another one, and it makes a folder for it. I can show you how that works. So let's say I wanted to put all of these on here. I wanted to clean all this up. I wanted to put them all in one folder. I could just say, click and drag, tap and hold, tap and hold, tap and hold, so on and so forth. And now when I tap that, see all those icons I put in there? And you can name it. It has an unnamed folder. You can actually name it something. So you can categorize how your phone looks. And the more you guys use these, the more things are going to be on it. You're going to have Facebook or Instagram or any apps that you use. I listen to the radio, the weather. You could have a whole thing for just picture camera apps, or you can have a whole thing for weather apps or music apps or things like that. People categorize by travel or anything like that. News will have its own if you wanted to. But to get started, you may not have this many things. You may just be okay with them all laid out on the thing like this. So you move things, and if you want to reorder things, you could just say, I want to put this there and this up here, and just move these around however you want. And what I find on a phone too is like on the bottom, the closer to my thumb that I want to tap something, I'll put the most frequently used things towards the bottom because it's easier for me to tap with my thumb than it would be at the top with my finger. Right? So if I got my phone in my hand and I want to tap on an icon, I can just use my thumb if it's towards the bottom of the device.
I have a question.
Yes.
If you're incorporating icons into a folder,
Mhm.
how do you name the folder?
So I've got the folder here, and I'm going to go ahead and tap and hold the folder. Wait, hang on. And tap it once, sorry. And it says unnamed. If I tap that name, I can now type, and I'm going to call it Google Apps.
It's amazing.
And so now I have a folder here called Google Apps, and it's all the, things like that. So you can group, what I do with this is I put things in a folder that I'm never going to use and call it etc. or something, and, or other, and it's just stuff I know I'm never going to use.
But you could swipe it.
I could swipe it and remove it, but I could also just put them in a folder, call it other stuff. Or, yes.
Well, it looks like you have room for 6 or maybe 7
Yes.
in dock.
Yes.
And
So-
that's fixed.
Right, that's fixed. So I can, if I'm on another page, let's say I filled this page up, it would automatically start putting things on another page, and this dock stays the same. So no matter how many pages, you can have 10 pages of applications, but the bottom dock stays the same. And even like, for instance, this apps. Right, that has to stay there.
It has to stay there.
It has to
I was
stay
trying to
there.
move it.
Yeah, that one has to. Like mine does. I can't remove this. This is access to the rest of my applications. This circle with all the little, and yours might be a square with a bunch of squares.
Yeah.
I can't remove that because that's how I get to the rest
Yeah.
of my
So
application.
if I hit apps,
Yeah.
you say this is going to stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
I hit apps, it won't change.
Well, it means what page you're on. So if I swipe to the next page,
Oh, I understand.
yeah, the bottom stays the same. Apps is different. See, mine does the same thing. If I hit apps, this is my apps here.
Yeah.
So if I hit that, it shows me all my applications. Now let's say there's something in here that I want to put on my screen. How would I do that?
Yes.
Alright, so let me pick something here. This is a cool app. Well, let's use Chrome for an example. So I want to touch and hold Chrome. All I do is touch and hold it. It automatically brings my screen back to me, and then I let go. And now I have it right there. So you open up apps, tap and hold something, and it'll drop it back on your screen for you. This takes some practice. What really takes practice is moving this to the front page, because you have to tap and hold it and put it in the far corner until it goes to the next page. So I'll show you an example here. I want to put Chrome on this first page. I tap and hold it, put it in the far corner. Ugh, it moved it, and now I can let go. That takes some practice. It's hard to get it to, and sometimes it goes to like 4 pages, but
Take something.
If you touch and hold it, you can get little bitty pages of them.
yes, so that is a way, when you tap and hold it, it's asking you which page do you want to put it on.
Right.
And that's kind of nice.
So
Some phones
you
don't
know,
do that.
because I have a hard time holding it and trying to.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. That's a feature with some phones. But yeah, but that's how you get an app onto your page. And remember, this is just a shortcut. This is not the actual thing. So if you lose these on here, you're not going to lose them. And it doesn't matter. You can always remove it from here and everything else. So let's try to put another app on the screen here. I'm going to find Calculator. That's a very handy one. Tap and hold, and then drop it. And now I have Calculator right here. And maybe I want the calculator in the dock. I can just tap and hold it. And it might take a minute to get used to it. And then let go, and now I have Calculator down there. And so,
Is there a way to shrink the calendar so it can fit on the front page? I can't.
Okay,
It's
so-
small enough to.
so one thing you can do on the page here is these things called widgets. And what widgets do is gives you a glimpse or a piece of an app and always displays information. For instance, this Google search bar, this is actually a widget, and I can remove this if I want. This is not an app, it's called a widget, and so it does something. So I'm going to touch and hold this. Oh, it won't let me remove it. Oh no. That's weird. They used to let you remove it. Okay. I'm going to tap home here. And notice how I have apps as a category here. I also have an option called widgets. You guys have something similar in apps? If you tap the app drawer, do you have something called widgets?
Sure.
And they might have a calendar widget is what I'm looking for. So in widgets, these are all things that you can put right on the front page of your phone. So you can have the weather right on the phone that shows the temperature. And a lot of your phones might have come like that. You might have had a widget already laying there that showed the current temperature. For instance, that is a widget that shows the current temperature. And if you ever want to remove it, you can just tap and hold it and say remove. So I want to put one for calendar. I'm going to look through, I'm going to browse through just by swiping. And I'm going to look for something called calendar. Let's see if I have anything. Looking. Maybe I'm going too fast. Calendar, I didn't see anything. I'm sure there is one. Hang on. There it is, calendar. Okay, I see it. So I'm going to tap this, and I'm going to drag it right there in the corner. And that is a widget. This actually shows me a calendar of my events that I have put in right on the front page. I didn't have to open the app. And at any moment, I can look at my phone and see what's happening at work.
So you can just touch those and they'll do something.
Yeah, so if I wanted to touch one of these, it'll actually open up my calendar, and there it is, right? Kind of cool, right?
Calendar is in Google.
Yes. Yeah, your calendar. Yeah, you might have two calendars on your phone. One's called Google Calendar, one's called Calendar. We're going to talk about that today with email and stuff, and Calendar specifically, about how all this stuff works and syncs and everything.
I don't have a widget on my phone.
Do you have anything in apps?
You have to
called
touch it
widget?
and hold it, because I don't have a name either.
Okay, sure.
I don't have any apps called widget.
Let's see.
You just touch it, the empty space, and we just.
Oh, really? So let's see if it works like that. So where's your apps?
Widget.
Oh, let's go home first for a second. Let me look at something. That's where yours
There it
is.
is.
Some of them are categorized in apps, so you just touch and hold the screen.
Just touch and hold it, that's fine.
And let's go to widgets. Let's see what's so see the weather channel. Which other things? Too battery.
So if I find a calendar, on the
There's your
calendar,
calendar.
and I
You just-
can move, yeah,
Yeah.
right here to the front page.
I think you can just tap it once and say,
Mhm.
and it's finding a place for you. And oops, so now that has its own page. So you just swipe.
Okay, so I don't have room on my front page for it.
Right, you'd have to. It's so big, you'd have to either clear the front page, or you'd have to just have a separate page for it. if you
So
want.
all your events, if you have events,
Yeah.
it'll look for it.
It'll appear like an agenda.
Yeah.
So like that's what I had on mine. And notice I removed it, and it still has that empty space where it was. So I'm gonna go ahead and add it back. I go to widgets here, and I'm gonna find my calendar and drop it in there. And that's my agenda because it's just stuff that's on my calendar. And there it is.
Ah, okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's good.
But we're going to talk about calendar and email and contacts today, and try to get some of that ironed out and explain to you guys how all that stuff works.
Once you get something to the front page where you want it, then you can go to where it is, and I can just get rid of it off there.
No, so that's how you uninstall something. So when you move something here,
It gets rid of it wherever it is.
yeah.
Okay.
Like I'm gonna don't remove it out of that. So for instance, now I'm in my app drawer. These are all of my apps that I
Yeah.
have. I'm not on my home screen or anything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna touch. This is one I installed called Evernote. I'm gonna touch and hold it. Notice how at the top now it says uninstall. That's how you get rid of something.
But it'll get rid of it.
It'll get rid of it off the
wherever it
phone,
is.
right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things you cannot get rid of on your phone because it came stock with your phone. So, for instance, you can't get rid of things like Chrome or things that ship with your phone.
Sure.
But anything that you
No
install,
Google stuff you
no
can-
Google stuff probably can't get rid of. But anything that you guys install, you'll be able to remove and uninstall. So you'll be able to actually uninstall something that you installed yourself. And we're not to that point yet, but the last class we'll talk about apps. And like, let's say you installed Facebook on your phone, you'll be able to uninstall Facebook from your phone. Like I installed iHeartRadio. So here's the difference. This is that radio app that Clear Channel puts out for all listen to all their stations. So if I want to remove this from the home screen, I can do that. So tap and hold it. I'm going to remove it. It didn't uninstall it. It just removed it from the screen. So I'm going to go to my apps. I'm going to show everything that I have. I'll show you I still have iHeartRadio right here. I'm going to tap and hold it here, and now that becomes an uninstall button. And I'm going to just drag it over uninstall, and it says, hey, are you sure you want to do this? And I'm going to go ahead and say sure. And now I've just uninstalled, and it's out of my list. iHeartRadio. That's how you uninstall.
I thought you always had to go to settings and.
That's another way to do it. There's multiple ways to do things on your phone, but you could actually do it in settings too. But for instance, let's say I wanted to get rid of something like calendar. Okay, if I'm tap and hold this here, is it going to let me? Notice how I don't have an uninstall. It just says app info. So I'm going to drag it over that. Well, what's it telling me here? I can only force stop it or disable it. I can't get rid of it because that's an app that came with the device. Therefore, it's a necessity for the device to operate correctly, I guess.
Well, that's neat.
So there's difference. Some things you can take off your phone, some things you can't. Anything you install, you can remove. But anything that came with the phone, most likely you cannot remove.
Did you say that how to make a widget? I didn't know.
So if you wanted to add a widget here, let's go to apps. And you should have, okay, and in here, a section called widgets. If not, I think you just tap on the screen
Okay.
and there's widgets there. Yeah, there's two different ways to do it. Either you have a tab for it, or you have to tap and hold it, and it has a little secret menu. So yeah, so widgets are if you, that's okay. If you tap and hold anywhere on the screen, there's a section called widgets right there. Yep.
Which are playbooks
And you
or
got it,
whatever.
And those change depending on what you have installed.
How do you get them back to your?
Let's say I'm home here, and I tap and hold it, and there's a widgets button right there. So that's how you get to it. Yeah, right on the home screen. So that's another way to get to it. So you have a little tab. See, hers is a little different, and this is a different. Is that a Samsung too? Yeah.
Yes.
So these are both Samsungs, and you can navigate differently on them. And so that has a little widgets tab, and anything there, like if you want to drag the time, you can put the time right there, and there's the time.
And that goes to your front page?
Yeah, or you can move it on any page you like.
Just hold it and
Hold it and put it to the far right, and it'll go on the next page. So try it. You guys can try that if you want, and moving stuff around and customize your home screen.
Sure.
Oh, okay, so if it's not here, it's either here under something called widgets, and I don't see it. There's usually a tab that says widgets. Okay, so let's go home and we'll do it a different way. Tap and hold it. Yep, and there it is. And yours came up. The others came up as a picture. Yours came up with text that just says widgets, and there they are. So your calendar or weather.
So all you did was hold up the home page.
Yes, and that little secret menu. A lot of navigating guys with the phones is you have to touch and hold a lot until something happens, right?
Now,
So,
I had a message from, I don't know if it was my cleaner or my booster,
Mhm.
but it said you have too many apps running, they kept running and running and running.
Oh,
So it
okay.
took me to that page.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
you click
sure.
on the app and then
You have to be
Did
forced
force
stop.
stop.
Yeah.
And
Now you
then-
don't. Now these phones are designed to where you don't have to be paranoid about doing that. Now they can run in the background. What happens is when you go from app to app, it just suspends it. It stops it from doing something. So you shouldn't have to do that. But that's weird that it told you.
yeah,
Oh, you've
it
got
said
too
you
many.
got all these running.
Here's another thing you can do if your phone ever says something like that is turn your phone completely off and then turn it back on and just restart it. Just like a computer, it'll clear up any memory that's like being held, and that's a nice troubleshooting thing. Is just turn it off and turn it back on.
Now, on the, what's it called? Let me get back to it. The task manager,
Yes, that's like where I'm at right now.
and
So this
it
is
doesn't hurt to exit. Obviously, something's running,
some
right?
things it can. So
It must be running because it's out there.
So yeah, let's go back one step. Let's see, where did you get the task manager?
Up here.
Oh, this has a little built-in thing. Okay. Yeah, so this is fine. If this was like 100 things, maybe, but here's your memory RAM, and it's just saying, oh, look at that, you can do clear memory. Clear inactive. Boom. Okay, well, that's one way to do it. That's kind of cool. It gives you a little button to do that. To turn the phone off and on does kind of the same thing, but that's kind of nice. Yeah. Some phones have that. Yeah.
Is there a way to know, like, there's something on here, I don't know what it does, for example?
Yeah.
In the task.
Some of them will have like your cellular carriers stuff on it, like Verizon might have an app.
Application.
Is there a way of
Moved it to my
touching them and finding out what it is?
Yeah, so let's say there's an app in here. And let's go back to apps. What's one that you think you might want to know some more?
Say that.
Okay, so I'm going to tap and hold it, and notice I can't, I can only remove it, but I can go to app info, and it should tell me some details about what this is. Okay, so it's saying, I can't uninstall it, I can only uninstall updates, but this is a navigator. This is actually, I know what this is, it's like a Verizon GPS app, you're never going to use it, but it's like a service that they sell, like, oh, you can use our app to do Google Maps is so much better anyways, but this tells you exactly what the app does.
Okay.
It might record audio, it might do all these things, it gives you a list of stuff if you use it, but it's just something that gives you a little bit more information, sometimes that's, but I'll show you guys where to get some app info. Yeah. Oh, did you have a question? Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay, so you guys good with kind of navigating just the basics, app drawer and widgets and stuff on your phone to customize your screen. And
Where do you find task managers?
so it's in settings. And if I go to settings, I'm going to show you in settings here. I have a section called apps. And it's looks like this. Apps. And in here it shows me a list of everything that is running. And I can select any one of these things and it gives me some information about that app. And I can stop it or I can do things like that. Let me tie my shoe.